transparent. We are now live on Facebook. Hello, everybody. Cash call today. Can you hear me okay? How's my mic?
Sounds great on my end.
Is this working?
It's working fabulous.
Okay, great. And I just screwed it up. I lost the base. Hey, everybody. It's Dale Archdekin and Brian Curtis, and we're back listening to your amazing calls and coaching on them and dropping pearls of wisdom and nuggets of productivity or whatever you want to say. So hopefully you guys are going to set more appointments and close more deals and make more money and send some tribute to us. Right, Brian?
That's right. I'd like tribute in the form of checks, please. I'm just kidding.
That'd be wonderful. But, U.S. currency would be wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, U.S. currency. I take Bitcoin. I'm pretty open.
Nice. All right, Brian, why don't you riff a minute while I get the thing up here so I can see comments as they come in.
Absolutely. So, I'm always excited when I get to do Cash Call. It gives me an opportunity to go through and listen to how our team's doing and how our, getting prepared for these calls today. And I'm kind of excited about, the opportunity that we have here, because here's the biggest opportunity that I'm seeing literally in real estate is if you guys who are watching and my team and Dale's team, one of the things that we've figured out is we can be pretty crappy on the phone and still be successful. I'm not advocating being crappy on the phone, but my point is if you're just making the phone calls, if that in and of itself puts you in the top 6% of agents, the statistics, what I know, imagine if you were actually good at it. And I don't know most of the people watching this today, but the reality is there is a huge problem right now in our industry. And Dale and I get to listen to it on a daily, weekly basis. And it's not big things, guys. It's the little things. If you're not listening to your own phone calls, or if you're a team leader not listening to your team's phone calls, it is arguably the biggest opportunity that you have to go from here to here. And, our team's going to close 350 deals this year, and I'm not sure we've made a decent phone call all year.
That's so funny. Imagine if they were all assassin ninja phone magicians. Brian, would you double the units that your team does?
I don't know what the math is, but it would have to be better. It's interesting when Tristan and I first talked, we were doing, we were doing off the cuff, basically similar to what we're doing. Tristan would basically play a seller and I'd play the agent, or he'd play a buyer and I'd play the agent. And people were like, wow, you guys are really good. And I was like, no, we're just having conversations. This is just basic stuff. But there's clearly a hole in our industry. And I think that's maybe why people actually started listening to us, because there's a hole in our industry that is gigantic. And
huge.
Here's one of the things I'd like everybody to think about. When I was at a conference 2 weeks ago, there's a guy who runs an ISA company, and he said this: percentage of phone calls answered is dropping dramatically, almost in half from what it was just 5 years ago.
Yep.
So here's the thing I'd like everybody to think about. Every single time somebody answers the phone, I want you to think about that as gold. And you want to be 100% on, 100% professional, 100% whatever you've got to be when that phone rings, or when that, when that person answers. And it's more and more important today than it was 5 years ago, because I can't just turn around and 30 seconds later get somebody else on the phone. So, start acting like those phone calls are worth $500, $1,000, $2,000, $10,000. And if you start looking at every time you get on the phone with somebody, that's a potential $5,000 conversation. Maybe that'll change what you're saying and how you're saying it. It might not, but that's what I'm looking at.
And I want you to consider that you only get one conversation with each person. That conversation is going to be your last conversation with that person.
Yeah, and how much differently are you going to approach that if you come in with what Dale just said? That's
Right.
amazing.
You better approach that a lot differently, right?
Yeah, this is the one shot to make $10,000. And again, I don't know what your average sales price is or what your commission splits. I'm trying to worry about that. But even if it's worth $3,000 to you, if you show up and make $3,000, that's a pretty good day, right? I mean, I'll make $3,000 a day. That sounds like a pretty good living to me.
Absolutely.
So, but we've really got to start acting like it is, because realistically, I don't know how this is going to affect us because it's so new, but Apple's got this new thing right now where you can block every single phone call that comes in that is not in your phone.
Yep.
And I don't know if people know about that or aware of that. And here's an interesting statistic: 42% of all cell phone users in the United States are iPhone users. which means that 42% of the population has the ability to block your incoming phone call simply because your number's not in their phone.
Yep, absolutely. It's huge. That's a big problem. Dovetailing with what you're talking about right now, I was just coaching a team today, and I heard several calls where the agent ended the call with some variation of "call me," and if you see something you like, call me, and if you and your wife want to go see something, call me. And I was like, no, that is not the way that you end the call, man. Ask for the appointment, tee it up and ask for the appointment. So today's medicine that I handed out to several of those agents was call that lead back and ask them for the appointment. Call that lead back and ask them for the appointment. And they were like, oh, okay, great. Yeah, we're going to do that.
So let me talk about that on a more conceptual level. What Dale is asking you to do is close. He was closing for the appointment very specifically. But one of the things that I've noticed, and again, we're studying calls, I'm watching agents, and we're doing all this stuff to try and help them get better. Stop being afraid to close.
Right.
Closing, it gives us this tension. Oh God, what if I scare them away? But what if you go call me? You might as well just tell them to go F off, because that's going to be the same. I think somebody tell the F off might actually have a higher percentage to call you back. So not really, I'm not suggesting that. But my point is, when you close, you'll get real objections. Dale, would you like to go look at a house this weekend? I've got time available on Saturday or Sunday. Which of those days works better for you? Well, really, Brian, I'm 6 months out.
I haven't seen anything I like yet.
Okay. Perfect. I completely understand. And then I can go into, so what, I'll tell you what, I'll send you a list of houses. I'll find something that you like, or better yet, let's go look at 3 houses. You can tell me what you hate about it, and then I'll truly understand what you're looking for. And so 6 months from now, when you're ready, I'll know exactly how to find you the perfect house. How does that sound, Dale?
That sounds great. That sounds like you're going to sell a house to that person versus the other 10 people that they spoke to who didn't ask that.
So I'll tell everybody listening this. If you close 10 times, maybe once out of those times, you'll lose one of those clients. They didn't want to get closed. They felt like you were high pressure. Maybe, and I don't know, maybe it's even 20. I don't know what the statistics are, but I'll promise you this, 100% of the time when you lead with, give me a call, you're going to get 0 callbacks. So I'd rather piss 1 out of 100 people off, or have one person go, well, that guy was too salesy, then basically start giving up on all of these calls where we just go, call me. And here's the thing, guys, done it. I mean, I've told this story before, and I'll tell it again. My script used to be, oh, you're 6 months out? Great, call me in 6 months. That was a guaranteed fail script, by the way.
Do not do that.
That's horrible. Never use that.
If you're listening to this and that's all you hear, don't do that. We're saying don't do that.
Yes. All right. Anyway, I feel like.
However, I hear lots of agents do that all the time. They do it all the time. Yeah. Oh, you're not going to buy for a year. Great. Okay. Well, when we get closer, why don't we talk again? Bye.
Yeah. Bye. Okay. And by the way, I didn't bother to put a follow-up in my CRM even to call them. So where did they go? They went into CRM abyss. And by the way, it's a big black hole that has a bunch of money in it that you don't know how to fish out. So,
all right. So, Brian, actually, I just realized for next call, I want to listen to several of those calls that I just listened to today. I already teed something else up for today, but remind me that next cash call for everybody here, I want to listen to the calls I just coached on today, which is where they weren't closing for the appointment. Perfect. And then we went through a whole thing where we practiced it. But today, what I'm going to be working on is being really clear when you enter into the call in the first place, right? Taking control of the call and being clear as to what's going on and who you are and what you want. Because, as you mentioned, you're not going to be speaking to so many people these days. If every conversation that you get is gold, and you better consider that it's the last one. So you better put your best foot forward, right? That's what I'm going to be working on. I don't know if you want to divulge what you're doing or just
sure. So I'm actually, it's funny. It seems like I had a whole string of Zillow calls was what we were working on, but I've got an expired today, and I've got a person that we were following up with. So just a little bit different perspective. And the expired call is actually pretty interesting, and honestly, one of the better agents on my team. But there's this big gigantic hole in this conversation, and I'm sure you'll pick up on it, and I'm sure our audience will as well.
I love it.
Again, good agent, but he missed a huge opportunity during this call, and I'm actually going to call him after we're done because he's a good agent, and he'll take that and go, oh yeah, I won't do that next time, which to me is a great agent. So.
I love kicking people in the ass. I get paid to kick people in the ass. I love it.
It's a fun thing to do.
It is so awesome, and if you can kick them in the ass and they can laugh at the same time, you're like, yes, I've found my calling.
There you go. Well, you want to go first? You want me to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Let's see.
Confusion.
Everybody, I want everybody watching this right now to, if you're live on Facebook with us, I want you to message in, play a call. All right, let's see that. Chat in, play a call, or message, play a call. Let's see how many people we can get. Come on, Matt, Dennis, Alex, Pavel, Steven. Brian is back. Yes, Linda Landman, he's back. So here's what we have to do. We have to get a little interaction in the, before I play this, I'm going to monologue a little bit. We have to get a little interaction in this Facebook Live so that more people will see this and we can change more lives and help people make more checks in the world. Okay, so you guys got to make a comment in here. All right, so I'm going to play. There we go. Linda, thank you. Play a call. Linda got the instructions. Linda's the only one who got the instructions, everybody.
Love you, Linda.
Let's play this one. Tell me if you can hear this.
Brian Beers. Hello. Hi. Am I talking to the owner of the property at 161 Southern Hills?
Yes.
Oh, perfect. By the way, my Chris Weber Real Estate Team. How are you doing today?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. Thank you so much for asking. I was trying to give you a quick call in regards to your property. I'm just wondering if it's still available or if it's been sold already.
All right. So do you hear all of this entry stuff?
I do.
Yeah. Okay. So this, for me, I'm giving you guys a little bit of a basic thing here. If you have to stick your entry, all right, I want you to practice your entry, how you're going to introduce yourself, who you are, where you're from, and the best thing that you can do is if you're cold calling, right, if you're prospecting people who have not come into your world or haven't taken any action for you, then just announce who you are very clearly and what you want to know quickly, right? Which is not what this person did. A lot of other words, a lot of, I'm looking for the owner of. Just assume that it is the owner of whatever property. Hi, I'm calling you about your property at whatever address. I'm so-and-so with whatever, right? Very simple and very easy. So I want people to practice that multiple times so that you can just stick the landing as soon as you come into the call. That is huge.
And Dale, I think we talk about this, neither you or I are big, hey, memorize these scripts type things. But I promise you, this is a script worth memorizing, and it's not a hard script, and you practice it. We teach all kinds of different things. Instead, if you get this part right, you're 70% of the way there. And I know that seems like insane to people, but when you start out with, this is Brian, and I'm calling about,
are you the owner of, blah, 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 blah. I'm looking for the owner of. No.
Slam it. Absolutely. Sam, this is Brian Curtis, the Curtis Realty Group. I know your house expired at 123 Main Street, and I'm just calling to see if you were planning on put it back on the market, or if I had a buyer who might be interested in it, you'd be interested in taking an offer. Right. Guys, obviously you don't want to talk that fast, but here's the thing. You need to be able to talk that fast. Right. You need to be able to know your scripts that well on the front end. Now, again, I'm not a fan of memorizing a bunch of scripts that moving forward, but that initial script, it's going to be the same every time.
Yep.
There's 4 or 5 different intros based on lead source, but that's it. Just bam, 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 bam. Be able to do that.
You know what, Brian? I just thought of an analogy that I want people to get down. Tell me if this works. It's like a football play, right? I know what play I'm going to run. We know what we're going to do. We got a plan. And then when we get punched in the face, we're going to figure out what to do from there based on some good principles, right?
Absolutely.
That's how it works.
I love it. And that's a great analogy. I love it.
You can't, that's where scripts break, right? Scripts break at the point where you get punched in the face. Now you can't have a script anymore, right?
Right.
Now you got to
because
just
the seller didn't get the script, right?
What's
the
that?
buyer didn't get the script. The other side didn't get the script.
The
But
lead is
front
not
end,
following the script.
no, what a pain in the butt these buyers and
I know.
sellers are.
People suck. Okay, let's hear another one. Here's another example. And you know the reason I'm playing this is because I can correct all of this stuff. Patricia, yes, drop in value. Patricia, what's up? Yes, I'm playing this so that I'm hoping people will identify themselves when they're doing this stuff too, where they're like, and kind of botching up their entry. You need to practice your entry, right? We run role play groups every week, multiple times a week, so that people can practice these things over and over and over and over and over again until they can stick it.
100%.
Let's hear another one.
Hello?
Hi, Michelle?
Yep.
Hi, Michelle. My name's Alex. I'm calling with Carmel. Sorry for calling out of the blue. See, the reason I was calling, I noticed that you might have had some interest in possibly purchasing a property.
Why are we apologizing?
Yeah, why are we apologizing, first of all? And this sounds like it would be a lead that inquired specifically about a property, right?
Yes.
They did not. This was just a random web registration, right? They just randomly registered on a website. So there's lots of confusion, lots of extra words, lots of like, right? Like not getting straight to it. Hi, this is who I am. This is who you are. This is what action you took. This is what I want to know. That's the simplest formula I can give you for an entry point into a script, right?
Well, and we need to talk a little, and we don't need to, but we're here. So let's talk a little intent. So if I've got a Zillow lead that says I'm interested in 123 Main Street, then what do? Hey, you're interested in 123 Main Street? And by the way, I can kind of just bang on those people pretty hard. I mean, I did. Hey, this is Brian Curtis Realtor Group. You called about 123 Main Street. Are you interested in taking a look at the property, or what kind of questions can I answer for you? That's my Zillow script, by the way. It's also my Realtor.com script. And again, real simple. It's just bam, 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 because a lot of the times those people go, yeah, I want to go see it. So it's not that we're being aggressive. It's just that we're going to skip all of the stuff. Someone who comes on your website, those of you like me, I use Ylopo, there's Firepoint, there's Commissions Inc., there's a million of them out there. But those people, where are they at in the funnel? They're probably 18 months out. Somewhere between 6 and 18 months is generally what we're speaking to those people. They don't want to talk about a house. They don't want to talk to you at all, probably.
No, they don't.
But you're going to have to try and give them some value, and it's softer, guys. It's a lot softer. Hey guys, I noticed you were browsing on my website. One of the things that we do is we reach out to people and just let them know that they can change their own settings, and I'm happy to talk you through that, or just answer any questions you have about our website. Do you have any questions about it? Most of the time you're going to get no, or most of the time you're going to get no, I got that. But again, you're having a conversation. You're not, when do you want to go see a house? Well, in about 3 years, I'd like to go see a house. Right. So here's another thing that's interesting about this, and Barry Jenkins has really done a great job with this. Shout out to Barry. But what we found is that when we have good conversations with them that are softer, that are, some great little things in here, that those 18 months sometimes become 9, that those 9 months sometimes become 5, because we're not beating them up. We're actually trying to give them a little bit of value.
Yeah. The other thing about that is sometimes people, when they don't know what their time frame is and things change, right? They're like, in a year or two. And then all of a sudden, 3 months from now, things change slightly, or they get more motivated, and now they're out there looking at houses,
Right. So
you call them 7 months from now, and they're like, oh yeah, I bought a house already. And you're like, shit.
Right. So what's your script? When someone says, hey Dale, I'm 18 months out. I mean, they're not going to say it like that, but what's your script there?
That's great. So what's important about 18 months from now? What's going to change for you?
Perfect. That's a great one. Here's another one. So, I understand that you're 18 months out. With that in mind, if I found the absolute perfect house, would that change anything for you? No? Okay, great. Or, if I found the absolute perfect house, would you want to go take a look at it? Or if I found the absolute perfect house, would you consider buying it? I mean, a lot of times people say, yeah. Like, oh, okay, well, that's different. There's so many things that we can talk about during there, and we're just trying to do a little bit of inquiry. So,
Absolutely.
Understand who you're talking to and do continue with the discovery. So
definitely. All right. So everybody, I'm thinking what I should do is, because I played those 2 calls about entry, let me just give a couple of frameworks then. Okay. Super simple frameworks for entry. For somebody who, this is the first time you're talking to them and they demonstrated intent like Brian's talking about, right? They took some action and they asked for something. They were looking for something. They did something. Hi, you're going to introduce who you are. You're going to say what they did, and you're going to find out what they want to know, right? Super simple. If they took an action that was not asking for something, didn't want to talk to you, you're going to introduce who you are. You're going to tell them what action they took. And then for me, we're going to ask them, do you want to buy or do you want to tell me no? Brian would ask something different. What do you ask? Web registrations? It's you tell them, hey, or you ask them about.
Oh, hey, I just, you signed up on our website. I'm just calling to see if you have any questions about how our website works. I'd be happy to help you set up any search or make any kind of adjustments. Those are things that we talk about, just because, again, the majority of the people, they signed up because they wanted to look at houses.
Yeah. Now, if you're following up with somebody that you've already talked to, right, this is a follow-up, you're going to introduce who you are, immediately reference the last conversation that you had.
Absolutely. That's why notes are so important, guys.
Absolutely.
You've got rapport with people, because you ask them questions, do that. Absolutely. So talk, hey, how was your kid's birthday party? Whatever it is.
Right. Hey, Brian, this is Dale Archdekin. We talked about 3 months ago. You mentioned that you'd be buying a home probably in the near future, and you were looking to be in this neighborhood. And we said that we would follow up and go and show you these areas or take a tour of the neighborhoods, right? I'm going to tell you everything that you need to know. I'm going to give you all of my permission slips that I have, that I built up in order for me to be on the phone with you immediately, right? I want you to know that whole story and bring you up to speed with me.
Because in case you guys don't realize this, I forgot the conversation that Dale and I had because I'm a buyer and I've had other stuff to do and I don't care about Dale.
Exactly true. Every one of your leads forgets about you. That's true. Okay, I'm going way over time, man. You want to do your calls?
Sure. we can definitely at least get one in. So let me do this, share screen.
I want to hear that expired, definitely.
We'll start with the expired for sure.
I love expireds. I smashed my face into expireds, and for some.
Hey, this is Nikia. Hi, how are you doing today? Doing pretty good.
Brian, did you share your sound?
Did it not work? Okay, hold on.
It's not coming through my computer. I hear it in your room.
Okay, let me fix that. Stop share. Share. Share computer sound. There we go. False, fails, follow the directions. Okay. I'm going to start it over again.
Hello.
Hi, is this Nikia?
Yes.
Hi, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing pretty good. I was just checking in. I work for the Curtis Realty Group here in Rogers, and I saw that you had a property on the market, 3 Pembroke Drive in Bella Vista at one time. Did you guys ever sell that property?
No.
Okay. I think I sent you a market analysis a few months back. Did you guys receive that?
If I did, I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember it.
Okay, no worries.
Remember us.
I can resend that to you, and also I'd be glad to come out and kind of check out your property and see if we could maybe get it.
Okay, now I want to know something. Is this the first time he spoke to her?
No.
Oh, he spoke to her before.
Yeah, I believe so. He's definitely someone on our. Let me rephrase that. Someone on our team has spoken to, I believe, the ISA, and then we transferred it over to them. And I believe that they have spoken just briefly.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. This guy should have referenced. He didn't show his hall pass, right? He didn't show his permission to talk to her again and talk about what had happened previously. And I want you to tell me something. Is this just like Southern charm that he's going this slow, or is that not what should happen?
I would probably like him to be slightly faster, but again, to your point, we do. He lives in Arkansas, and we're dealing with them people, so that it's not as important. So, like, if you're in Philadelphia, this person's already hung up on you because you've gone too slow. So well, I understand that.
And what I mean, it's like he's like, hey, I'm so-and-so, how are you? You know, and I'm not trying to make fun of his accent,
Yeah.
but I'm like, it's like he just kind of like sidled up to her in a creepy way. And he wasn't like, hi, this is who I am, and this is why I'm calling you. Like quicker, you know what I mean? Like he was like, I'm outside your window in the tree. And she's like, okay, well, I'm not sure why. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so, you know, and again, I'm going to talk about some weird stuff right now. 6 basic human needs. The very first one, and this is a Tony Robbins, thanks for any of you guys who are Tony Robbins fan, but the number one basic human need is certainty. Okay, guys? So now it's not as important to everybody else, but what I'm saying is, what Dale just said is, we're giving this person a level of uncertainty. That's the last thing that we want to do. We want them to go, oh, this is that. He's a good guy. I like him. I want to interact with him. Or this is Bob, whatever the case may be. So provide certainty as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
This is Brian Curtis with Curtis Realty Group. We spoke about 2 months ago about your house. I sent you a CMA, and I'm just following up to see if you guys had a chance to look at it. Have you had a chance to look at that? Oh, no, I didn't have a chance to look at it. So, you know, come in confident. You know, confidence is huge. And by the way, once I said we spoke a couple months ago, what's that do? Oh, well, I must like this person. I spoke with him a couple months ago.
And Brian, what he did was he said, hi, so-and-so, is this so-and-so? She said, yes, it is. He goes, oh, how are you today? Right? And immediately, I don't care what state you're in. I don't care if you're in the South or the North or the East or the West. The immediate thing that goes off in that person's head is, who are you and what do you want? Right?
Yes.
So just tell them who you are and what you want before you let it go too long. That's my point.
Yes. And my piggyback is provide that what Dale's saying is provide them some certainty.
Yes, certainly.
Provide them some, oh, it's okay to talk to this person. I don't hate them. They're not going to sell me a widget that I don't want. They're calling about a house. And by the way, I have a house to sell. So great.
Right. Did we get any more nuggets out of this one?
I need to give some more. I need to play it a little bit more.
Yeah, let's
Moved for you if you're still looking to get it sold.
Okay. I can be honest with you, the next 2 weeks are not going to be good. I host the craft fairs here in Northwest Arkansas.
Oh, is that coming up?
Yeah, it's next weekend. And so I host the one at the fairgrounds, and so I'm booked right now.
That makes total sense. Okay.
Yeah. So if you want to send me over a market analysis, I would like to take a look at that. We have
Okay.
another realtor who's trying to earn our business as well.
This is the important part.
I'm not happy with his market analysis. So I would love to look and see what yours is.
Sure. Well, before you make any decisions too, I mean, there's a whole other part of this, Nikia, as far as, you know, marketing.
Oh my God.
All right. So we don't have a bunch of time left.
No.
But
This
here's what I really feel was
Wait,
missed.
before you even talk, Brian, I can hear him pouring the gas can on the bus as he's about to light it.
Yes. And the reality is we're going to get an appointment with this person and we're going to do, because he goes back and forth and we don't need to listen to the rest of this. But here was the huge opportunity with expireds that people really need to pay attention to. It's with expireds and anybody who's talking to another agent. What did this lady say? I am not happy with the CMA that the other agent sent me.
Done.
Great. Congratulations. Out of curiosity, what didn't you like about it? Why would we not ask that question? Because that's an opportunity to give this person exactly what they're looking for, but we don't ask that question, and therefore we don't know what they're looking for. Anytime somebody talks bad about somebody else, I'm not trying to, why? What didn't you like about that? Because here's the thing, we're going to send them a CMA now, and guess what? We're going to send them the same CMA the other person sent them, probably. I mean, ours is pretty. But ultimately, let's say, I want to know what this lady wants for her house. I want to know what her expectation is. Because what was wrong with the CMA? Well, it wasn't professional. Great, we can fix that. What was wrong with the CMA? It was $30,000 less than my house is worth. Okay.
Yeah.
So what am I going to do? Turn around and send her a CMA that's also $30,000 less than she thinks her house is worth?
I'm not going to send her a damn thing. I'm going to get face-to-face with her.
Right. And he actually does go through and manage to get face-to-face with her. Like literally he's going to go meet her at the craft fair, which is pretty awesome.
Nice.
But he still doesn't know why the other CMA wasn't good.
Yeah.
You missed in my opinion, the biggest opportunity. Anytime somebody says, I wasn't happy, You have to ask why, because they will tell you how to sell them. I didn't like my last agent. Why didn't you like my last agent? Well, they never returned my phone call. Great. You know, one of the things that we pride ourselves on is making sure that we always return every single phone call within 4 hours, or if it's after such and such a time, the next business days. That sound okay to you, Dale? Will something like that work for you? Great. Okay. Guess what? I just became Dale's agent because I gave him what he wanted, not because I'm better than the other guy, but because Dale thinks that I will do what he wants me to do.
Yes. And what we hear this guy doing right now, can you rewind it just a touch? After she says what she says about not liking the person?
And I would like to take a look at that. We have another realtor who's trying to earn our business as well. I'm not happy with his market analysis. So I would love to.
Okay, now let's hear what your guy does next. And this is where I'm saying he's about to light his bus on fire, which luckily he ended up getting the appointment, but hit play.
See what yours is.
Sure. Well, before you make any decisions too, I mean, there's a whole other part of this, Nikia, as far as, you know, marketing the property and not.
Yeah, I know the reason our house did not sell the first time.
Pause.
Or the reason we only had.
Now, he started to F this up by pitching her on something that didn't need to be pitched in the first place.
Right.
She gave him she opened the door. She was like, we have a competitor. I don't like his CMA. And he could have just walked right through, right? And asked what you said he should ask. But instead, he was like, oh, but what about door number 2, this marketing thing, and introducing this thing that's going to screw things up. Fortunately, she knows everything and she shut him down. So she started talking herself again. Right. But it's like he unnecessarily started to pitch on marketing when he didn't need to do that. She was closable right there. I mean, she was closable, right? You don't need anything else. What's that, Brian? Isn't there like who said that everything you say after yes gets you closer to no or something like that?
I don't know, but I love it. You know, I call it talking past the close.
Yeah. It's like every word that comes out of your mouth as a salesperson past yes. And basically when she told you, I have a competitor, I don't like their numbers, I want to see yours, that was her yes. She's like, yes, right?
Absolutely.
He keeps on talking and he's going to end up getting a no if he keeps talking. Fortunately, she shut him up.
Right. And if you listen to what she said, she says, I know why my house didn't sell.
Not your marketing crap.
And great. So, you know, if someone tells me I know, great, tell me about that, because I don't know. And here's the reality, I don't know. Nope. I don't think she knows either, but I definitely don't know why their house didn't sell.
No, I'm like, this is the you show, honey. You know everything. You tell me everything, right? I'm going to be exactly what you want me to be, and we're going to do exactly what you want to do, as long as it involves us listing at the right price.
So, yeah, exactly. So that you know, here's the thing, and I don't know, this is a whole different philosophy, but I'll tell you right now, if this person ends up being $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 higher than what I want to list the house for, I'm still listing that house. And I don't know how you feel about that, Dale, but I'm still listing that house. And then I'm going to say, you know, Dale, you might be right. You know, the house is worth, according to our market analysis, the house is worth $180,000. But with that in mind, you think it's worth $200,000? I'll tell you what, I don't know everything. So why don't we do this? I'm going to do all the marketing that we just talked to you about. We'll put your house on the market for $200,000. And then after 3 weeks, we'll take a look at it, evaluate it. We know, statistically speaking, that if you're not getting at least 3 showings a week, that your house is at least 5% overpriced. Does that seem reasonable to you, Dale?
Yep.
Great. And then go and list the house. And by the way, what I did with that little script, and I'm scripting in person, by the way, when I do this, I'm not doing this on the phone. But what I've done is I've agreed with them, agreed to do it their way, came up with a logical plan to move forward. And then I've told them if it's over, you know, again, I've said, if you're not getting at least 3 showings a week, you're at least 5% overpriced. Those are statistics from the National Association of Realtors, by the way. And, you know, after 3 weeks, what I'll do is I'll call you. And if we'll have this discussion again. And if you want, we can do a price reduction at that point in time. I am setting the price reduction up in the listing appointment. So when I call them 3 weeks from now, it's not the first time that they ever heard about doing a price reduction.
Yep. Anything else on this one, Brian? We're killing it today, Brian.
I'm good, man. And you know, we're at 1:35 my time, 3:35 your time. So I feel like we're probably at the end, and I can save my next call for next time. And I appreciate it, man. I had this is a great great call for me.
Yeah, I think that I think we've dropped so much value for today that these people need to take these things we've given them, go home and think about it and apply them.
Absolutely.
Sound good?
Sounds good to me, man. It was a great cash call. I enjoyed it as always, Dale.
Yeah. Well, let's get one more chat. Let's get one more comment in here.
Please.
If you got value, I want you to comment fire. How about that? Comment fire. Let's see it. Who's still with me? Cameron Hardy, Jim Tabasco. What's up, buddy? Linda Landman, Asha Dave. Thank you for the like. Comment fire in this post, in this live for us. I'm not real good at this social media thing. Geiger Smith. Thanks, Geiger Smith. Let's see. Can we get the comment? It always takes a little while. You know what? Because I think there's a delay between us doing it. Thank you, Michael Swift. We need them in the Facebook. Here we go. Linda Landman. Linda gets the award today, man.
Yeah,
Linda
Linda's been all over it. Thank you, Linda.
She's killing it. All right, everybody. Signing off, man. Brian, thank you as always.
Dale, I always enjoy it.
Sounds good, man. I'll see you next week.
Sounds good.
Bye.